It's time for Milberger's Gardening South Texas, live from Milberger's Landscaping and Nursery at 1604 in Bulverde Road. During the next 2 hours, our experts will help you with your gardening questions when you call 210-308-8867. That's 210-308-8867. Or come by Milberger's during the show and have your question answered in person. And now it's time for Milberger's Gardening South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer.
Welcome to Milberger's Gardening South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. On a pleasant Saturday or Sunday afternoon, we're here at Milberger's at 1604 and Bulverde Road. We encourage you to come on out and visit with us. Bring a picture of what's challenging you, or just bring a picture to brag on those tomatoes, or bring a tomato. But just come on by and visit with us at 1604 and Bulverde Road. What's that?
Down just a little.
Oh, it's too loud?
Yeah, but just a little.
Oh my goodness, yeah, you're kind of loud. You got switched. How's that, better?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. 210-308-8867 is the number to call to ask your gardening question on the phone. 210-308-8867. And you want to start off with where you finished yesterday?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, okay. I'm going to talk about the picture.
What's that?
The photo that you sent.
Oh, did you want to talk about the photo? Okay.
Yeah.
You didn't like it?
Ladies and gentlemen, there is an announcement.
Yeah, what's that?
Driving around town, 95 to 98% of the Sinizos are in full bloom.
Full bloom.
And we have predicted rain coming up. So I may have to agree with Milton.
Man.
That the Sinizos do predict rainfall. But we shall see.
We shall see.
Yeah.
Man alive, though. Do they look gorgeous or not?
So Milton sent me the photo later last night.
That's over by Kohl's.
Yeah.
Just letting you know in case you want. Did you go by the ones, the hedge?
I did. And then I started looking all around town.
Yeah.
And all the commercial and Northwoods shopping center. And I'm like, oh, Lord.
Yeah, they are.
I'm going to be generous to say 95 to 98% of all the Sinizos are in bloom.
Yeah, in our yard, we've got a few blooms, not like the ones on, that you saw, like I took the picture of. I took another picture at Bitters and, is it Bitters? Yeah, Bitters and 281, because it's just so beautiful. I mean, it just, boom. And you said yours was too, Calvin, right?
Oh, yeah, gosh, yeah.
And the nice thing, the variety of colors, and we've talked about that on the show, that there are a host of different selections and varieties that you can get for different colors, different sizes, different amounts of gray. So if you're not a big fan of gray, like the late great Paul Cox loved gray. And there are some different Sinizos out there that you can get that are a little bit greener. Yeah.
Do you remember the name?
It's I want to say not green shade, but something green.
Okay.
Well,
maybe
the one I have.
Trace will come up and correct me. So.
The one I have is the one that's basically blue. That was out Mitchell Lake.
So that was the Lynn's Legacy.
Lynn's Legacy.
And this is the best it's ever looked. It just packed with blooms, and it's gotten to be after the rain. It's gotten to be a relatively large shrub.
I favor the darker purple, but Lynn's is a beautiful lavender.
Lynn's is pretty.
Yeah.
I mean, when we were there doing the show at Mitchell Lake, it was in front of us.
Right.
And you use the term showstopper, or literally people kept walking by casually, and then they would stop.
Come back,
yeah, they would stop, and they would just.
A lot of them didn't believe it was.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I think it took me a while to believe it, even. But the other thing that was so noticeable there was that hummingbirds were really thick on the Lynn's Lowry. But all of the hummingbirds like all of them. So
do you see hummingbirds on yours?
I actually don't, because it's a little a ways down in the south side of the yard, so I mostly see it when I'm walking by or driving by.
Before the gangs in your neighborhood attack you and your dogs.
Where I've seen it,
he didn't respond.
Where I've seen most the hummingbirds are that is the porterweed now. And then those petunias, that kind of amazes me too, because I've never noticed the petunias being an attracting for the pollinators before.
No, really, I hadn't known that either. Mine, again, I have to take a picture, I guess. That little one's coming back. It's doing all it can to come back, and so I'm just babying it. It's still in that pot, and hopefully it'll keep going. But yeah, I'll get some seed today. I forgot to get it yesterday, and take your suggestion and plant them. But yeah, they are picturesque, the Sinisa. So, and rain is predicted. So I'm with the Sinisa on this one. I think it's going to rain. I sure hope it is.
Make sure that you're listening next week.
As we talk about it.
When I talk about it and have even more mea culpas on my part.
All right. So I didn't know you were going to go there, but that was fine. Thank you very much. But you were pointing out an article that Neil Sperry wrote.
Yes.
Yeah, that you thought would help me.
Yeah, and I'm not going to. It's 13 points. I'm not going to go through all 13 points.
Oh, 13 points on what to do?
What to do.
Oh, geez.
You did most of them. It is a lengthy process, which caught my eye.
Yeah.
So he has it in the ground after you cut it. And
now, whoa. Tell people what you're talking about.
Okay. Good. I always do that. I get complaints about that.
Oh, do you?
That I just jump in.
Yeah, I was like,
we're talking about Neil Sperry's article about how to grow a pineapple
from a pineapple,
and you can do it here. And Milton tried it. He went on the Book of Faces and the internet to find stuff, and I went no.
So I had one failure, and I have one that I'm not sure is a success. It's still it's green now, and it's dark green, and it's putting out leaves. So maybe it's a success.
Maybe it's a success.
Okay. But let's see what Neil says. I should have
the 13 steps he has is in the newspaper right below Calvin's article on peaches, and we'll talk about that in a bit. But so I'm not going to go in, but stuff that caught my eye.
Yes.
Things that caught my eye. Bright shade. Bright sunlight.
Oh, bright
sunlight.
Full.
Oh,
ooh.
Yeah,
Until when?
That's what caught my eye when we're talking about yours.
Yeah, mine's in full sun. Well, it's in morning sun, afternoon shade.
Grow the plant after it's been cut in bright shade out of direct sunlight.
Okay.
Particularly, he says summer sunlight, so that may make.
Oh, I need to move it now.
Yeah. When the plant is 18 to 20 months past planting old.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah,
so a year and
there
a half?
You go.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that caught my eye.
That makes me feel better, but not really.
And then he says when it gets to this point, maybe 24 to 30 inches tall after that time, then you cut a large apple, eat the apple, and put it in the stalk. And the idea is, and then cover it with plastic. And the idea is that the apple will make ethylene, and it will help the ripen process.
Oh, I thought he was using apple as pineapple.
No.
I didn't realize.
No. So he's going to put an apple in it.
Right.
And that's an old trick that they use. In fact, we use it in commercial and apples nowadays.
And the purpose is to get something to bloom? Or to get some ripen?
To ripen.
To ripen, okay.
Now, he says put a plastic bag. I don't know. I don't like putting plastic over any kind of plant. So if you get a big Central Market bag and cover it, because you have to cover it.
Is that paper?
Yeah, paper.
Okay.
Because you have to keep it out of the sun for a few weeks. And then you take the top off, and it will help ripen it.
Okay.
A few weeks later.
So I have a few months to wait.
Yeah. So that's caught my eye. Those two things.
Thank you. 18 to 20 months is a long time.
20 months. and it's going to get very large.
Yeah.
And then it says, grow the plant in bright shade out of direct sunlight.
I got to move it.
But you can see the article. It's very interesting.
Yeah.
He's answering a question of somebody who had read a lot of things on the internet. Mm-hmm. So he gave him the 13 steps, which was very nice. Very nice.
Okay.
But that's in the Express News. Yes.
Very cool. Right above Calvin's, or right
below Calvin's wonderful article on peaches.
Calvin, talk about your peach article.
Well, we talk about it being the peaches being the most popular backyard fruit. Mm-hmm. And that's speculation. There's no, there must be statistics, but just based on our experience with our gardening input. But it's not the easiest to grow. They're very demanding, and in our environment, they're especially demanding because we have poor soil, we have erratic rainfall. We also have one of the main things is that we have unpredictable cool weather, and for peaches selection, the varieties to be successful, they have to get a certain amount of cool weather. And the cool weather is the temperatures between 32 degrees Fahrenheit and 45. So it's just above freezing. And most of our ones that Mark and I talk about are in the 300 to 600 hour area. So that's one of the reasons why peaches, a lot of folks will have some peaches that never seem to produce anything, because mostly it's we don't get enough cold weather.
So do they get flowers, but the flowers don't produce anything?
Well, they'll get they can get flowers, or they can get blooms that. A lot of times they'll get blooms and then have a late freeze. Even that's another. It's another factor.
Another challenge.
Yeah. So it's kind of hard being a peach farmer.
That's right. That's right, for sure.
He talks from personal experience.
Yes, he does.
I don't know about that.
Can you hear in his voice shaking a little bit, cracking?
A little tremor.
Well, it's pretty demanding. And then one of the main things is that peaches in the San Antonio area generally live, or sometime I was probably a little more optimistic. I said 7 to 10 years, I think, in the article. But it's not unusual for them to just live 5 years, 5 to 10
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Do they grow pretty quick?
Oh, yeah, they're fast growing.
Okay. But then
they're, and then you get the ones you get like here at Milberger's nowadays, they're not bare root. They're in a container, and so they're ready for action.
Okay.
You plant them, and then they'll bloom. That if you plant them in the
fall, you're gonna probably get blooms that following spring.
And then you can harvest fruit. The other, and then of course there's a long list of things. If you're going to be successful, you probably are going to be spraying a pesticide for fungus and for insects once a week.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And then again, another factor that comes in there, if you get the early varieties,
which is at the June ones.
Yeah, you harvest. You don't have to spray as much, but then you have you don't have they're not as sweet, they're not as large.
So Kevin brought that out in the article. I thought that was really good. I knew it, but I didn't really express that. But it's always a balancing act. So you want the earlier crop, but yet you want to leave it on there as much as practical to develop. Sometimes it's a balancing between the pests and the weather and letting that mature and develop on the tree to get the appropriate sweetness and flavor.
And we don't have borers very often here in San Antonio, but a lot of areas where they try to grow peaches,
Yeah.
the borers are the main problem, main threat. But here it's bacterial canker.
Oh, okay.
But it kind of resembles borers sometimes.
Yes, because it's this ooze coming out of the kind of an amber color.
Sticky,
ooze.
syrupy.
Yeah.
And the
It's
leaves
like you're getting
die.
maple syrup from your
I was thinking that very same thing.
How about that?
Yeah, it's scary.
I read your mind.
Scary.
We need to talk later.
But so Western Michigan, we grew Red Havens and apples, and we had flathead borers. That's what we had to worry about.
Well, Michigan is a wonderful place to grow cherries too.
Yes,
along by the Great Lakes.
But up in the little pinky area. If you look at your thumb or your hand, see Traverse City is where the pinky and the third finger come together. That's where Traverse City is.
Is that right?
Gosh,
Spoken like a true Michigan.
Yeah,
cherries are wonderful too.
But anyway, so we were always worried about borers on that. So.
You're always talking about themselves and the big peach tree, the peach borers.
Peach borers.
Oh, hey, Mark.
Oh, no, there were several.
Let me tell you what I did today, Mark.
No, it's
Where
not
are you
that kind of
going? Why are you
boring.
leaving?
No, it's not that kind of boring.
That tree has borers. That tree is borers. All righty. 210. Sorry, bad joke. 210. Calvin's not even laughing. 210-308-8867.
I rarely laugh when we're talking about peaches.
Oh, I guess so.
Yeah. Especially when you guys talking
soon.
about
Too soon.
not
too
making
soon.
any money,
Sorry.
Yeah.
Well, the amazing thing is when we tell stories about being a farmer, the hitting the bullseye and getting it perfect, which seems like pretty much what you have to do, so much can go wrong. It is amazing. Too much rain, not enough rain, hail, insects.
And sometimes there's unusual things. In my case, I concentrated on early peaches. I only had two varieties, and the idea was that I was going to have them available for the April or the May and June crop in the southern U.S. And the price was very high, and the bank was excited about it too because, and especially after it kind of happened the way we predicted in the first couple of years. Mm-hmm. Then the South American, the Chilean, and the Argentine peach growers, especially from Chile, they started producing peaches that were imported and sold at the exact same time as as the early peaches were what we expected.
All right,
the price went way down.
Yeah, which is not good. All right, Jane, hang on the line a second. We're going to take a quick break and come right back. 210-308-8867. She is going to give us some questions. She's got some good stuff coming up right after this. 210-308-8867. Milberger's Gardening, South Texas, coming back right after this on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. And welcome back to Milberger's Gardening, South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. Right here, we're, of course, at Milberger's Gardening, South Texas. Milberger's Nursery and Landscaping, 1604 on Boulevardy Road. Before we get to Jane and her questions, we're going to talk about Prusky's Market on Highway 87. I brought everybody some sausage that I barbecued low and slow, and it came out really good. And the only thing I think it was just their regular Prusky sausage with cheese and jalapeno.
Yeah, that's what I was asking.
Yeah, it was spicy. It had a nice little kick to it. If you are looking for a great gift for Dad, I love how Edmund says this. Edmund Prusky of Prusky's Market, he is the Prusky of Prusky's Market, says, what does Dad want? Another necktie or a big old juicy ribeye? Dad wants the big old juicy ribeye from Prusky's Market. And all you got to do is call ahead and tell Prusky's, want to put aside some stuff, and then next week you can get Dad that big old ribeye right before Father's Day. The number, by the way, is 210-899-5555. 3853, and you'll find that at Pruski'sMeatMarket.com. But if Dad wants, if he's a poultry lover or a sausage lover, or if he likes rabbit, we were mentioning that, like
pork.
Calvin, or pork, absolutely, thank you. Pruski's Market is going to give you the best tasting that you've ever had. You'll be going back.
Too.
Yep, that's right. You'll be able to go back time and time again and love the service and the quality that you get at Pruski's Market. It's on 10140 Highway 87, and you'll find them online at Pruski'sMeatMarket.com. That's Pruski'sMeatMarket.com. You'll enjoy it over there. Let's go back to the phone lines now and talk to Jane at 210-308-8867. Hi, Jane. Thanks for waiting. What's going on?
Oh, hey. Well, I've got a lot of questions, so I'll try to go fast.
You take your time. We're okay.
I bought peach trees at Tractor Supply. Sorry. But they were Florida King, and I thought I was picking out two good ones. One grew up really good. One was very stubborn about branching out. I put on some Super Thrive, and it worked. In like 2 or 3 days, it branched out. So now I've got these trees that are over a year old. They were a year old in March, or a year that I planted them in March, and I still haven't trimmed them. So my question is, will I need to trim them this coming spring? Somebody told me not to wait because they still needed to leaf out as a young tree. But by the time they hit 2, early next spring, will I need to do some cutting on them?
Well, yeah, I think next spring you probably have to.
Yeah. Now, spring is a relative term.
February.
Yeah.
February? Okay.
Yeah, February.
And
before they leaf out, you do the heavy pruning.
Now, you can do it after the... Now, one of the, if you got a big peach orchard, they'll start earlier than we recommend, and they'll still be pruning later than we recommend, even when it's blooming. But that's tough. It's really a challenge to try to prune a tree when it's got foliage and blooms on it. So, target February.
February. And I had shoots coming out of the real pretty one below the graft. And I read on the internet, cut them off.
Yeah, it's below the...
Yeah, okay.
If it's below the graft, and the graft is usually that crook or knot, there, that make sure that, they're off.
And if there's some that are like maybe an inch or so above it, they're okay?
Well, but you don't need them up there. The one reason you would leave more branches than is a legitimate, if it doesn't look right, it doesn't have the right shape, is if you want to protect the trunk and the stems.
On the western and southern sides.
So because they can get damage from the sun, so you could leave some.
Okay.
And in San Antonio, that's one of the things we do is to protect the plant, is to leave a little more foliage and stems than you normally would in a normal peach producing area.
Yeah. Well, I'm 100 miles east of you on I-10.
Oh, wow.
So,
okay.
But, so anyway, but is there like a guideline? How far above the graft should they go? Or would you leave? It's like they're pretty close to the graft, but they're still above it, like maybe 2 inches?
Well, there's nothing magic about it. The good news about a peach tree is that they grow fast, and if you make an error, it is not an error for long because it'll grow back. But set yourself some kind of a 2 inches or 3 inches is reasonable, and then try that. And if it doesn't work, then the next time you try something a little different.
Okay. All right, I have an Alma fig. It's very old, but it's kind of like a dwarf or something. But the figs coming out are kind of small. I think it needs water. Can I water it overnight, or does it not like that? I hate to get up like at 5 o'clock and start a drip faucet or, hose.
What is it?
This was an Alma fig? Alma?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. When you say you water it in the middle of the night, how are you watering it again?
I would start a water hose, say at 7 o'clock at night, let it drip all night long. Are they okay with being wet at night? I mean, some plants don't like that. I mean, that's the most convenient for me. So, or is it better to wake up super early, start a drip at like 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and let it go till about 9?
The fig is not fussy.
Yeah, I was going to say yes in both cases.
Well, do you think the watering issue is what's causing the figs to be smaller than normal?
Yes, because I did not water it. It's full of mulch because I got 10,000 live oak leaves all over my house.
Oh.
So I do tons of live oak leaves all around them. I'm also trying to bury the stickers, but that's not really working.
Calvin,
so they're still
Mark?
coming up. But
does that ring true with you that it's the water issue, or?
Well, 20 years ago, the major emphasis was that figs need water and they need 6 inches of mulch, and in fact, my article I mentioned 6 inches of mulch and regular watering, but we figured out they're not quite as fussy as we thought they are. They're kind of amazing. They're easy to grow. They take advantage of the water when it's available. If there's not enough water, they just don't have much fruit.
Right.
Oh, okay.
So whether you want to do it every 4 weeks or every 6 weeks or thereabouts, that's fine. The idea is to be consistent.
Okay, but again, so you agree with her that it was the watering issue that caused the small figs?
I think so.
Okay, good. That's what I was trying to.
Yeah. Okay.
I just want to make sure.
I'm trying to think. Again, we had a roller coaster weather, roller coaster spring, and I think that had to do with it.
Now you got drought.
Yeah.
And then you also have had those freezes affected those figs too.
Exactly.
But they seem to be responding this spring. They're taking advantage of that rain we got and seem to be coming back, at least the few I have in my neighborhood.
The most important time of any tree is the months of March, April, and May. Mm-hmm. So if we are deficient in those months, it behooves you to water those sufficiently.
Okay, yeah, because I was kind of waiting around for the water. We didn't get much in April, and I should have watered it probably then.
Well, just keep an eye on it. I always say, what's the best time to water during a month? Well, the third week, because you have those first 2 weeks to kind of figure out if it's going to be too much or too little. So you can get in the third week of that month, and that's time to water.
If you got
that's just my rule of thumb.
If you've got mulch, and once a month, a deep, generous watering once a month will generally will do.
Should be enough.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, and can I
You're okay.
ask
What's
another
the third question? Sure, go.
Yeah, I have a magenta geranium, real pretty magenta kind of color, fuchsia, and it was so pretty in the spring, but now it's ragged. Is there any way? I mean, are we just supposed to live with geraniums being ragged in the heat? It's on a porch. It gets morning light, and it's just not so pretty.
Yeah. But I don't know if the one you have is one of these ones which they developed to withstand the heat. Now, having said that, they're still going to look raggedy in the summer.
Okay.
They are a cool weather plant, or actually spring and fall.
One of the strategies is to move them from the sun to less sun. Mm-hmm. Morning.
Well, there are places that get morning sun, but maybe I need to move it away already at 10 o'clock. Or, just because it gets sun until 12 doesn't mean it's not getting too hot.
Yeah.
It might be getting too hot from 10 o'clock
even
on.
with that amount. Now, I have mine in sunrise to about 11:30, and I keep thinking that maybe that's too much right now.
Right.
Did you have what is that variety?
I can't. Fantasia.
Fantasia series.
Yeah, the Fantasia
strawberry sizzle, violet.
There you go.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So, I favor the deep reds, but some people like yourself, they like that magenta color. That's very popular.
And real quick, I got goats, and if they get out, and will they go to an oleander and eat it, or will they ignore it because they know too it's poison?
I would say they'd probably go for it, but they may not eat it. Down to the ground. They may go. It's bitter, and so they'll take a few chomps and go. Yeah, maybe not.
Okay. Oh, so that little bit.
They do eat
right?
a lot of things that we would consider unedible.
Okay,
like poison ivy.
Oh, I was going to. Okay, so would that little bit they might chew on be toxic?
I think the oleander stories are. I don't want to say over.
I'll ask my vet.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That's a good. That's a good response.
Okay, and hey, zinnias, do they do okay in a pot?
Oh gosh,
What?
do zinnias do okay in a pot?
Oh, gosh, yes.
Oh, okay.
They do wonderful.
All right.
In a container.
Okay. All right. I got
Alrighty.
problems with squirrels. They're eating my succulents, and they're even digging in my spider plant, of all things. I don't know what's wrong with these people. I mean, these things, but
Well,
yeah.
thank you.
Well, keep them, the zinnias need full sun, so.
Yeah. No, they could chew up a few oleanders and they want to. Okay.
All righty. Well, thanks for all the
thank you for your
questions.
help.
Good job. Yeah. Keep us
Thank you
informed.
very much.
All
All
right,
right, bye-bye.
210-308-8867 is our number. Yep, give us a call and let us help you out at 210-308-8867 or come by the nursery. Lots of folks out here today. I think they're enjoying the overcast a little bit, the shade of the clouds it's providing. There's a breeze. There is no breeze, but we have the
breeze
fan.
of
We
the
have the
fan.
fan. Yeah, the fan is.
I wonder if there is if anybody has history or information on that, on the goats eating.
Oh yeah,
No,
oleander. That'd be
I,
good.
I
I would
can't
say-
imagine. I'm sure they'll taste it.
Yes.
Even a deer will taste
Yes.
it, but I just can't imagine being suicidal.
Well, that's what I think logically, but sometimes my logic doesn't always work. So as I was answering her question, I was like, we should probably ask the audience as well.
Okay, good. So let's, if you have experience with goats and oleander, call us at 210-308-8867. Tell us what's going on. 210-308-8867. Yeah, we'd like to hear
The deer don't eat it.
The deer don't eat. Do they nibble on them and then stop,
Well,
or do they just
they'll
don't eat
taste
them?
it.
Okay, they'll taste it.
A new planting.
And as far as you know, the deer are still okay.
Yeah, I mean, I've got them in my neighborhood. They're growing, and we got a few deer.
Okay.
And those
it's
are
obvious.
sarcastic statements.
Yeah,
It's
that
obvious
was
that
understatement.
There's not dead bodies over there by the
That's true.
the plants.
Deer are not intelligent animals, so they will bite off of oleander and go, that's terrible.
Okay.
And then 30 minutes later, they'll do the same thing.
They'll go find something else you wanted to keep.
Yeah. Well, no, they'll bite off the oleander again. They go,
Oh, really?
yeah, they're not very smart.
Oh, jeez. Okay. 210-308-8867.
I think they're smarter than he's.
Oh, okay. Well, you live with them. You have to. You fight them every day as they go after your pets.
I was just thinking of the plant, the oleander, that's closest to my yard, and it's full of blooms, and I don't see them ever around it or chewing on it. But if you plant a new one, they'll taste it. They'll try it and taste it because they just can't. They're a curious animal.
Okay.
But
It's very interesting. Yeah, so call us and tell us what you've seen. If you've got goats, or do we want other animals too, besides deer? Like
Llamas.
If you have goats or llamas, do llamas eat a lot of things? Goats eat everything, don't
Yeah.
they? Are llamas picky?
I think so.
Okay, they're a little pickier than goats.
goats though are
I don't know, it
pretty.
just popped in my head.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
goats are pretty protective of themselves, so I just can't. I never hear about goats dying because they've eaten the wrong things.
Okay. So, yep, if you've got some experience, call us, 210-308-8867. We are going to take a quick break. While we do, again, call us, 210-308-8867, or come by and visit us and see all the pretty zinnias and all the pretty
Mist flower and porterweed.
Yeah. Yep. We'll tell you more about
plant.
that. Yeah, I love
Turk's cap.
Love the shrimp plant. I'm waiting for ours to bloom, but it looks gorgeous even by itself now. All right, back in a moment on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. And welcome back to Milburger's Gardening South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. 210-308-8867, the number to call to be a part of the show. Beth is on the line. Got a question for us about Greg's Mist. Beth, welcome to Milburger's Gardening South Texas. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I just have a quick question. I have a good amount of Greg's Mist flowers, and they've already bloomed and gone to seed. Can I cut them down to the ground, and will they bloom again for the fall?
Great question, Beth. That's one of the best questions we've had.
Well, no, they should.
I
wouldn't cut them down. They should be blooming constantly between now and the fall. So,
okay.
So just cut those mature seed heads off, and are you sure they didn't? Did they dry out or something? I just can't imagine.
No, they're a little. Some of them are a little dry, but most of them are blooming. They just all hit. They're all brown right now. Some are coming up. I just wanted to make sure that I could just top them off and that they would keep blooming.
Oh yeah. Well, you don't even have to top them off. All you got to do is water them. They'll bloom constantly.
Well, I'll go out and water them today.
I was going to say for aesthetic purposes and to get them all growing all at the same time, I would probably cut them in half or cut them a third off and then water.
Oh man, I wouldn't do that.
See, he wouldn't do that. I would.
I would just let them. I mean, because they'll start reblooming in 2 or 3 days. But if you cut them way back, you're talking about a re-establishment.
Regrowth,
okay.
Having kind of coming from a commercial aspect of it, sometimes, that's what they'd like to have do.
You could experiment a little bit, I guess, if you wanted to, do a little of the cutback and then do some where you just make sure they've got plenty of moisture and they've got full sun, but they should be blooming up a storm right now after that big rain we had.
They've been beautiful. Yeah. They're just, they did their job, and so you got to wait for the next round. I just want to make sure I, want to get it right.
Well, you're easier on yours than I am on mine. I expect them to bloom from. That's one of the advantages of using Greg's versus the other varieties is that they bloom for a long season.
Mm-hmm.
Have you tried? Have you tried porterweed?
Porterweed?
Yeah.
Porterweed. Yes, I tried porterweed. I killed it.
Oh.
Yeah, that's kind of a fascinating. I describe it as a weird flower, very attractive, but the pollinators love it too. Almost, it's Mark and I sometimes have a debate about whether it's mist flower is the favorite, or if porterweed is the favorite, or zinnias.
And I think our compromise is it depends on the season. Yeah, sometimes
have all of them.
Butterflies love the mist flowers. We just have tons of them.
Yes.
Tons of them, yeah.
It is cotton candy to them.
Okay, well, let us know what you conclude with your little...
Okay. Thank you for the information. I really appreciate it.
Great question. Terrific
for
question.
Calling.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Beth. All right, 210-308-8867, 210-308-8867. Yeah, she got one of the porter weeds that we just had like 4 left, and she got one. So remember the purple ones?
Yeah.
There's
when they were
sitting,
more
back there.
Yeah,
there's a ton now.
Yeah. It was like we were trying to drum up.
Are there any red ones left?
Oh, I don't know.
Look towards the front.
Look towards the front. Maybe is that a red one?
In that row, I thought some.
I think they're in the trees.
I think Trace bought every dwarf purple in the state. So we have dwarf purple here.
Okay.
Well, and I'm happy to say that the purple, some of the purple selections are not as constant of bloom as that dwarf red, but the ones I've gotten, and I think other gardeners have gotten here from Milberger's this spring, they bloom constantly so far, just like the dwarf red. That really makes a difference. I don't know, Mark, do you notice that are they as interested in nectar, or the butterflies seeking nectar? Are they as much interested in the purple as they are in the red?
I don't know. I can't hazard a guess. It's porterweed, and they love it. It's always amazing. The flower's not massive, but it just seems it produces a lot of nectar for the number of butterflies and bees.
Yeah, and that's another one like the mist flower. It can be look like it's not blooming at all, and then 2 days later it'll be full of blooms again. Porterweed, and mist flower. Yeah,
porterweed seems really tough. Was it the porterweed that I was saying, like, I forgot to water it, and it kind of was droopy, and watered it, and it came back up and started blooming again.
That's
and was
right.
going crazy.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, mist flower does that, too.
Oh, does it? And is this the mist flower in front of us? Okay. That looks butterfly-y. So I'll have to get me some mist flower. All right.
The real difference between porterweed and mist flower is the porterweed is pretty disciplined grower, whereas the mist flower is just kind of stand back, give me all the room and the water I need, and let those butterflies come in.
I always think of it as a component of an English cottage garden. So a lot of kind of ungangly, but beauty in its ungangliness. With some cone flowers, and some salvias.
Where'd the cone flowers go? Do we sell out? Or they're right there? Okay.
Yeah.
Even when it lays down on the edge of your big mound, it's covered with butterflies and bees around those edges. It's pretty fascinating to watch. And we got honeybees on ours here.
Oh, there are honeybees on there? Oh, I see them. And it's right in front of the Mexican heather that. Hey, we need a bee person too to call us. I have a bee question. So we need a bee person to call us. I'm trying to find out someone that produces honey. I think Pat does, but I have a question about what something is. I was reading on the Book of Faces on Facebook, and they were talking about royal jelly. And it was like, it's just amazing what it can do. It can lower your blood pressure. It can do this. It can do that. It's like...
No, that's what they give the queens, I believe.
Right, but apparently you can, buy it.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know. Someone will have to call and tell me. All right, 210-308-8867. Here's the weather analysis from Al back at the station. 20 to 30% chances of showers or thunderstorms on Tuesday. 30% Tuesday night. 40% to 50% chance of thunderstorms on Wednesday, 50% Thursday. And, so lots of days that we could get rain. I hope we do.
Well, that better be right. You'll have to have a counseling session with your...
with my Sinisa. Probably so. All right, 210-308-8867. I've got some other questions. But I don't know whether... Well, I'll just ask Mark real quick. So when you were talking about the idea with the pineapple and the plastic bag.
Yeah.
So I was reading stuff. I was trying to study up some more stuff like Calvin was talking about. The taking, because we can't buy them right now, the whopper begonias, and
a tragedy.
Yeah, rooting them from cuttings, right, Calvin?
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, so in reading stuff, it talked about the cuttings, and then it talked about either putting a plastic bag over what you were trying to do, or to use a humidity dome. And I didn't know what a humidity dome was. Do you know what a humidity dome is?
No, I don't.
The only thing I can think of is sometimes in the winter up north, it gets very dry inside, and they may have a humidity dome. Or I know we had a humidifier when I was very young.
Oh, no. I think this is you're supposed to put it over the plant.
Yeah.
So it makes it easy.
So one of the reasons I don't like plastic is for the reason that greenhouses are in the summer down here. They just get too hot.
Okay.
And you have to worry about that, or just overheating the plant.
Now, does that mean plastic bags, or does that mean... Because if I use the Central Market bag, it's not going to get any sun.
So I went back and checked on that. They were said take it out of the sun, but I think again they were worried about heating.
Right, the heating.
The
heating seems to be an issue because what I'm reading says to keep them at approximately 75 degrees or so. Do I have to worry about that?
So here's what it said. After they said put the bag of dry cleaner's plastic over it.
Okay.
It says leave the plant covered out of direct sunlight for several weeks.
Right.
So to me, I was like, well, if I use the Central Market paper bag, I'm out of the sun for several weeks.
Okay. Do you have experience using the Central Market paper bag?
It's just I just worry about forgetting about a plastic bag.
Okay, so it wants light but no sun.
Yeah.
Is that accurate? No direct sun, but light.
The idea with the bag is concentrating the ethylene.
But that's different. Than,
for
cuttings and stuff.
Yeah, so I was trying to concentrate the ethylene, but not damage the plant.
Okay.
So I'm playing around with these ideas.
Well, and
on the begonia,
I think you could be successful without doing any of that elaborate stuff.
Okay.
It's just you just be patient.
Is that particular to the begonia, or if I'm trying something else, don't worry about it?
The begonia is going to be tougher than the pineapple.
Okay, so
in that heat situation.
All right. I remember one time. Now that I think of it, we were talking about Paul. Paul was telling me how to propagate a rose, and what he had me do, and it worked, was take a Ziploc bag, blow it up, put soil at the bottom, blow it up, and then put the rose in the soil, and then seal it. And I guess it stays. I think you have to inflate it every now and then.
But now, is it in light or dark? Or
it's not in dark, but it's not in direct light.
Okay.
I put it by the side of the house, and so it was getting light, but not direct light. And it did root. The problem was then no one told me how to unroot it and then put it in the soil. So it rooted. I said, oh, good. Popped it right in the soil, and it proceeded to die. So we were using a plastic bag for that. Maybe I should experiment, because I was, but okay, I'll experiment.
Yeah, you got plenty of stock.
Yeah, I do. I can make, and Laura was in favor of that too. She was like, oh, that's a good idea. Take one of the ones in the back. Go. Get it out of here.
Yeah.
Let's see. What's that? Oh, what they're getting?
Oh, the load. No, I was worried about the load.
Oh, these people in front of us are buying a lot of stuff.
Yeah, hopefully. Okay, Mary's going to...
And they're mature people, and so I kind of worry about that.
Oh, and they can hear you. They're going to come bop you in the nose in a minute.
I said it nicely. I said mature people.
But
Mary's coming in to help.
About my age.
Oh, my goodness. Wow. That is mature. All right.
Hey, wine and cheese gets better.
That's true.
With age.
All right, 210-308-8867 is our number. I encourage you. We're looking for calls about goats and oleanders or any other animal and eating oleander.
Well, let's
focus on goats.
Well, no, I was gonna tell the story of my West Highland Terriers and their confrontation with the doe.
The deer, yeah, the goat or the deer. You mean?
Yeah. Well,
the doe. You said doe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, you want to save that until after the break? After the news?
That sounds good.
Okay. We will save that till after the news.
Do a tease.
Okay, but when we come back, we'll find out what happened between Calvin, the dogs, and the does.
There we go.
Does, the deer, the female deer, and the dogs.
Here's the song.
Right after this on 9:30 a.m. This is The Answer. How was that?
Beautiful.
We're back with Milberger's Gardening South Texas, live from Milberger's Landscaping and Nursery at 1604 in Bulverde Road. Come out to visit or call us at 210-308-8867. That's 210-308-8867. And now back to Milberger's Gardening South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer.
And welcome back to Milberger's Gardening South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. Perhaps you're wondering what happened with a big incident. Maybe you read it in the newspaper. Maybe you saw it on the news. Calvin innocently walking his dogs when he was attacked. Calvin, what happened?
Well, actually, it wasn't me that got attacked. It was.
Sorry.
I was avoided.
Oh, okay.
The deer, a doe, and
a deer.
The
deer.
female.
Female deer.
She must have had a fawn. It was right in front of my house, and this happens quite often in my neighborhood. The deer get more aggressive, and we got lots of dogs, and we get kind of careless, not remembering that the deer are possessive and protective. But anyhow, the doe came charging out of the shrubs and went after my one of my dogs, Tilly. Tilly usually chases the deer. She's a 17-pound, furious little West Highland Terrier that thinks she's in charge and very tough. But she, to her credit, she figured out this was not a good fight, so she ran to hide behind me. And
hang on a second.
And so then the doe switched and ran over after Darcy, and Darcy, of course, just takes it for granted that she's not interested in the deer or anything, and the deer missed her just by inches, and Darcy gave her a look and then ran to me too. The nightmare would be if I got tangled up with
the leashes.
But the deer, and I was hollering at the deer and shaking my hand at it and chasing it away, and she was not going to go. She was thinking about maybe I could handle this guy. I could handle this dog, and then I'll get this guy, and then I'll get these dogs.
And you're okay now, right?
That's right.
Oh, sir, you ready?
Right.
Oh, okay. He'll be back. Okay.
But that's it. Yeah, people have to be aware of that.
You have to be cognizant
because
of
the fawns are out there now.
Al says he once got charged at by a buck.
Yeah. Well, I was telling Mark and Milton, Al, that we've had dogs killed in our neighborhood from deer,
Right.
and I've about once a year I get ambushed like this, and it would be. If they hit with those paws and those hooves, if they hit a dog, it can do a lot of damage. So you do have to be aware. It's one of those motivations, one of those reasons that you have short leashes. Mm-hmm. Because if you got those long leashes, and if you have more than one dog, it's hard to control them when you got a doe that is trying to defend a fawn, even though you don't know where the fawn is. So,
okay.
But
I'm sure there are people that are listening that can appreciate it. Yeah,
a story about the interaction of wildlife.
Wildlife and humans. All right, 210-308-8867. 210-308-8867, and we hope that man comes back. And he had a question about a product he was going to buy.
And so may have been.
Did you tell what that was?
No.
Oh, okay.
Excuse me, may have been an insecticide or.
Okay.
That's what the kind of container looks like.
Okay. All right, 210-308-8867. Well, I will experiment. Here he comes. I will experiment with the big plastic bags and stuff and see what happens.
Yeah. So my issue is always too much heat or maybe condensation of moisture affecting the leaves and the flowers. So I always worry about that.
Yeah, and some plants, there's not much danger of that. Pineapple is pretty invincible.
Well, and what I was doing before to see if I could get some sprouts was I had taken a metal container that you serve things in that had a plastic top, and I was filling it with soil and then putting seeds in and stuff, and I don't know, I didn't have much luck with that. Do you think it got too wet? You think it got too hot in there? You think...
I mean, what you just
I got
planted seed in the soil?
So I got this tray with a plastic top. You've seen those, okay? And so I put the soil in.
Okay.
Got the soil wet, moist, and let it kind of dry. And then I put the seeds in.
Yeah.
And then I put the plastic lid back on and put it out of the way.
So it was soil, not perlite or a lot of vermiculite or something like that.
Yes, just soil.
Okay.
Is that the problem?
Maybe.
I should have used.
It depends on the plant too.
Yeah.
What? A lot of plants. That situation, like zinnias would not prosper in a situation like that. They do better in the open air and everything.
Should I open up the terrarium a little bit?
For some plants.
Okay. So how do I know which plants like it and which ones don't?
Which plants did you use on with?
I think I was using the. I might have put some zinnia seeds in there, but I think I was trying to do the veggies in there.
Okay. Well, there you go. There you go.
Okay, so that's bad.
Maybe they like fresh air.
Okay. All right. I'm just trying to be successful, and everything says to cover it and create that terrarium effect. Tim is on.
Where does everything?
Oh, everything on the internet. It says that.
Yes.
Well, Mark agrees.
Yeah.
Of course, on the internet,
they claim I'm a French male model. So on the internet,
you're a French male model.
Yes,
it's got to be
true. Says it, yeah.
Okay, so
bonjour.
If I were going to do a tree cutting, and I'm going to get to you right, Tim, in just a second, and it said on the internet to use the plastic bag and stuff. Should I trust it or should I not do it?
Well,
or do both?
Yeah, that's the way to do it.
Oh, Calvin says that's the way to do it, but I pointed at a hummingbird and he got distracted.
Okay. Oh, that's a nice one.
That's a pretty hummingbird. He's at the fire bush.
Fire bush.
All right, Tim has some questions at 210
Mexican fire bush there, or
210-308-8867. Hi, Tim. How can we help you today?
So I had some. I live in Floresville, so I started putting a lot of stuff in pots. It was sand. I didn't like it. It's hard to grow stuff. Seems like it to me. So I put some roses in some pots. Belinda's Dream, Grandma's Yellow, some white red roses, hibiscus, a lot of stuff. And I guess one of them has been in the pot for about 3 years, and it's a small pot. It was like the first experiment. It's a Belinda's Dream. It actually grows pretty good, but I started having all these yellowing in my leaves, and leaves were dropping off, and I didn't know what it was. And I finally just figured out, I thought it was too much water, but in pots it's kind of hard. It's potting soil. It's iron. Sure of it now. So I bought some iron, high-yield iron supplement. And then I bought chelated iron, too, from...
Yeah, okay. There you go. That's what you needed to do.
The chelated iron, but I don't know, like, it says to mix it, like, they're in pots. Some of them are big. Only one rose is in a kind of a 3-gallon pot.
Yeah, so the idea is make sure, or the questions I would have, make sure it's a big enough pot to fertilize appropriately on a regular basis. Sometimes chelated iron will be either in the fertilizer mix or you have to add it to it. But most of the time, it's the size of the pot that it's not holding enough water. That's why or it's holding too much water. That's why the leaves are turning yellow.
Yeah, that's why I was thinking it was water. But the thing is, there's one pot that I have that's really big and it drains really well. I mean, it's like I can water it every day and it's never really wet. I mean, it drains well. It's only been in there for 2 years. But anyway, so in the hibiscus
It makes a difference what kind of pot you have, too.
Yeah, that's what.
Yeah,
what
plastic pots it's different. It's hard to figure out.
Well, what Calvin's saying is sometimes on the terracotta pots you need to water them more.
Oh.
Or the
pot.
substance that makes the pot. The plastic they retain the water a little bit better. So that's awesome.
I was thinking I was over-watering at first because, I don't know, but I don't think it's that. And then when I looked at the pictures of iron, like on the internet, the veins are green. But is that the same for over-watering?
No. That's what I was going to make a point on that. Yeah. When it's an iron deficiency, the veins will be green and the inner venal surfaces are yellow. Whereas if it's overwatering or underwatering, the entire leaf is going to be yellow.
My whole leaf would eventually turn yellow.
Yeah, or lack of nitrogen. So
on the chelated iron, it says they do it monthly, but I'm like, man, it's a pot and it's so hot. I water every day.
No. Yeah, that's absolutely right. No, your instincts are correct. No, you wouldn't do it every month.
I can do it more often, right?
Just do it.
No,
do it once.
Yeah. It's once every 6 months. I may do it.
Great.
Alrighty.
Is there a real big difference in the type of chelated iron? Because I read like HDD, MA, and all that. Does that make sense?
There is. But most of the time we worry about native soil, the different types of chelated iron. Some are for more neutral soil. They actually have some for slightly acidic. And they have some for partially alkaline. And then they have some for highly alkaline. So they're all different kinds. I
got the one that's for Fortalone chelated iron. That's going to be okay for pots?
That's going to be okay. Yeah, I don't think you need to do it every month. I think just twice a year would be sufficient. But
it takes a while. It takes a while before it works. Because it's not working. It's been about a week or two.
No. When it's chelated, it works fast. Now, or reasonably fast. Trace always likes a different product, which is faster. And there it goes by. But I would suggest just the unbalanced fertilizer, like an Osmocote. In fact, the
I use Osmocote. That's all I have in the box. I don't use the plus. Is it Osmocote?
Okay, well, I wouldn't worry about the chelation then if you go for the iron or the Osmocote Plus.
Okay.
I haven't used Osmocote Plus. I use just a regular Osmocote. I didn't know there was an Osmocote.
He used the Osmocote Plus?
No, if he has the chelation, he can use the Osmocote and the chelated iron.
Okay.
But I think your issue is watering and fertilization.
Okay. All right. What about the granular one from High Yield, that iron? Can I just put that in there too? The little granular iron pellets, Iron Plus or something?
Yeah, that's what it is. High Yield Iron Plus.
And can you put that in?
I just put that in once a year?
I don't know what the container recommendations is. I may say it on the label. But generally we're talking about using that in a bed.
Oh, okay. Okay, I got you. Okay, all right. Well, that helps me a little bit. Thank you all.
All right, thank you.
Bye.
All right, that'll free up a line at 210-308-8867, 210-308-8867. Good questions. I mean, that's kind of a...
Yeah.
What does iron do?
So, iron helps with the development of chlorophyll, and that makes the leaf green.
Right, and
it is immobile. That means within a plant can't move the iron from the old leaves to the new leaves. So a lot of times the new leaves are this. The veins are green, but the interveinal is yellow. So you have to have a formulation of iron that the plant can pick up.
And Osmocote Plus, I know he didn't use it, but that has iron in it?
That's the plus part, yeah.
Okay.
Iron and sulfur, I think.
And you had some thoughts, Calvin. What were you going to say?
Oh, no, I think he's just kind of overwhelmed by iron. Iron is just a minor. Like Mark says, once you apply it, it usually addresses the issue. Not always real quickly.
Oh, okay.
One of those plants that we see that iron problem when quite often is citrus.
Oh,
citrus in containers. Because it.
You notice I changed my answer halfway through because quick is relative term. It may take a while in a certain plant to adjust.
To see it make a difference?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and usually iron is easy to address, and it's not a long-term problem.
No. So it's like 1 to 2 times would address it, applications. And you could do it like once every 6 months.
Okay.
Another one, another 6 months.
It's almost like when you fertilize your yard. Because we do like that almost every 6 months, right? Winter and a spring?
And winter and a spring, yeah.
Okay, or fall and a spring. Yeah.
But there, it's even a more complex picture because the iron is there. It's just that the weather, the soil has to be warm and the weather has to be relatively warm so that the plant grows so that the plant can utilize the iron.
Mm-hmm.
So we generally do apply some iron so we can get a fast green up. Or we just are patient and wait until the plant can get enough root system and their chemistry going and utilize the iron that's there.
A long time ago, way back in the last millennia, last century, we would have 2 applications for St. Augustine. This is specifically for St. Augustine grass. So we'd have 2 fertilizer applications, and then maybe in June we'd have an iron application. So because it seems that June, some late May or June, the grass was just getting started and it used up some iron, and it was getting a little hard to get some iron out of the ground. So we'd have a little addition of the chelated iron to the turf.
Okay.
Well, we hardly ever do that anymore, but sometimes we did.
And what does chelation mean?
Chelation is applying a iron molecule to a organic chain. So it means it's buffered.
Okay.
So it takes a while for that iron molecule to be taken off the organic chain and then be able to be used by the plant. And when it's highly alkaline, it has a hard time. The plant has a hard time picking up iron out of the soil.
Okay, which we are highly alkaline.
Yep.
Okay.
Sometimes after construction, it's really, really, really alkaline.
All right, 210-308-8867, 210-308-8867. Trip, hang on. We got to take a break, and then we'll come right back and talk to you at 210-308-8867.
Is that Trip from the Metroplex?
Oh, maybe. Milberger's Gardening, South Texas. Mark Peterson, Dr. Calvin Finch. I'm Milton Glueck, and we're talking to folks about their gardening questions, and we have Trip on the line at 210-308-8867. Hey, Trip, what's going on?
I have got this plant I bought for the swallowtails. It's called a white vein pipe vine.
Okay. What is it?
White vein pipe vine.
Type vine.
It's hard to say.
Yeah, it is hard. So the leaves are turning brown on it, and I transplanted it. So It was in full sun. Is it supposed to be like in the shade? I know it's a swallowtail plant, but I don't know what to do. It's like a bulb at the bottom of it.
So, memory serves, and the older I get, the less that memory is serving me. I think it's partial shade.
Okay.
But I can't confirm. Do you know what pipe vine?
No, there's a lot of pipe vines.
Yeah, they are.
Makes me.
It's called a white
swallowtail is the one That's what I think of when I hear.
Yeah, it's the one that grows there at the butterfly garden by y'all. I walked through there, and that's how I picked out my plant.
In the certified butterfly garden?
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll have to ask Mary.
Mary, of course, Mary was just here.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, that's well, it depends on the part of the certified butterfly garden. Some parts have full sun, and some parts have partial shade. As I look at the But I just clicking something in my brain says partial shade
with a lot of water.
I'm not sure. I'm sorry.
Okay. With a lot of water.
Mary,
like keep it moist.
Mary can't come up. You can talk.
We're having hand signals on that. Water? No. A consistent amount of water. That to at least to get it going.
But you can ask her, but
she right.
Pick up the mic. Trace can't do that.
So I would say planting in the garden. Yeah, it is. It's a kind of rhizome on the bottom. And you need to get it started. But
okay, it's in a pot.
It's in a pot.
I transplanted it. Yeah, I put it in a bigger pot. And that, what do you call it, a rhizo?
I think it has a little rhizome on the bottom. It's not like a bulb. It's kind of a funky bulb, bumpy shaped.
It looks like a very small potato.
Okay.
And does that need to be covered with dirt? Because like half of it's sticking up.
Partial. I don't think.
Okay.
I don't think it needs to be totally covered with dirt.
Okay. So well, other than that, no monarch yet, and everything's all bloomed. Swallowtails, black ones. There's two kinds, and then the what's the other one that likes the milkweed that looks like a monarch? Queen. A queen showed up, and then the big yellow tiger swallowtails.
I'll be down.
So that's about it.
How about the hummingbirds? Are they?
Yeah, they're buzzing. They're buzzing by.
Yeah.
I got 3 feeders out for them, and then I have a bird feeder, and then all the rest of this. But yeah, I did have. I'm getting swallowtail caterpillars on the roof.
You disappeared.
And then
are you gone?
Yeah.
Are you there?
I'm here.
Okay.
Yes.
No, I'm getting the black swallowtails.
I'm kind of
on the roof.
I kind of with Mark. I don't think it'll, especially when it's in a container. You can, if we'll confer.
Yep.
And then if we can, you can just do a little adjustment by moving a little bit.
Yeah, I'm going to move it under a mimosa tree.
Yeah. Sounds good.
So can you grow mimosa trees from the seeds?
From the seed?
From the seed? I think it's going to be, it's in the legume family, so a lot of times those legumes have a hard seed coat.
Oh.
And you may have to do some, like, strong vinegar or something to activate it, or some, plus strong vinegar plus some stratification before you get the seed going.
Okay.
But we don't have a lot of mimosas around now because 20, 30 years ago we had mimosa wilt, and it took out a lot of mimosas.
Oh, yeah, because everybody that's my age said they grew up with them, and I have one. And you can't, I guess they don't sell them anymore, or?
Sometimes they do. You see them in the big box stores, not so much on the local nurseries, just because Yeah,
Well, they sell them east of here, right?
Oh yeah. They're very much prominent east, but even there in the southeast, it's not a relatively available small tree. But you know what? The ones I saw a couple recently that are just outstanding. So when they are in bloom, they look do.
Oh,
look
they're
beautiful.
a butterfly attractor. Believe me, they're all over it.
Huh.
All righty.
Okay,
If
well,
anybody in the
other
audience
callers.
out there has had some experiences with that or grew it from seed, let us know. That's be interesting.
Well, I'm going to try it. All right.
All right. Good
Thanks,
luck.
Thank you,
guys.
sir. All right, 210-308-8867. James is on the line. Hi, James. Welcome to the show. How you doing today?
I'm doing fine. I hope you are doing fine.
Yeah,
okay.
we're doing okay. Thank you, though.
Hey, that caller gave me a flashback. Way back in the day at my old house, we had a line of 3 or 4 mimosa trees, and I put a hammock between 2 of them. They're big trees. And I used to put my daughter on my belly and swing her in the hammock, rock her to sleep, and getting a nice little, what I thought was a relaxing shower until Dr. Parsons told me what that little raindrops were.
Oh, on the...
That's mimosa trees.
When I moved down here, it was Paul Cox used to tell me he would always, the mimosa is crying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they were
he
crying.
Didn't tell me
all
what
right.
the crying part was.
Yeah. Okay, well, anyway, y'all were talking, I've been in and out about, I guess, growing the pineapple. I tried that many years ago, decades ago, actually. I cut the top off a pineapple and put it in a pot, and it lived for a while. I don't remember, several months, and then it died on me. So I didn't do something right. So, and the reason why I'm asking, I picked up one of these pineapples at the grocery store this week for my wife. So I'm thinking about doing that again. So do you say, am I hearing right? You need to cover the top with a plastic bag or some sort of bag, or what is the strategy? I'm going to be doing that this week.
That's what Neil is recommending.
One tactic.
Yeah, he's recommending that. That's not
To get them to ripen.
We had it, I don't remember how many years ago, 10 or 12 years ago, we were doing, a bunch of us gardeners were doing, and I don't remember us putting anything on top of them.
I don't either.
They were.
No.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Now, you're putting it to
previously.
making it ripen, though. You're not putting it to help it grow.
That's correct.
Okay.
So it is the pineapple is already on there.
All right.
But you are helping it ripen. That is an old technique used to increase the apples and peaches to ripen at the appropriate time.
So, James, are you trying to put this? Are you seeing the bag as something you put over to help it sprout or to help it root, or are you seeing the bag as something to help it?
No, I haven't done it. When I did it previously, a long time ago, I did not use a bag or cover. I just put it in a clay pot with potting soil and kept it moist.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
It grew for a long time, but then it finally it kicked the bucket, so to speak. It never made another pineapple because I know it's a long process. 18
months at least, they said.
But it's worthwhile.
It sounds like fun. I'm having luck with mine.
I was able to get it to ripen some.
Oh, did you really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, cool. How
And
many
a lot of-
pineapples did you
several
get?
gardeners did, yeah.
You just get the one pineapple?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it should make one pineapple. So is now a good time to do it? Because I have this fresh pineapple I'm going to carve up later this afternoon.
Whenever you have the parts of the fruit, that's a good time.
I think warmer is good, and right now it's quite warm.
I was trying to remember. I'm just like Mark, though my memory isn't what it used to be. I was in Australia traveling with my wife Judy, and we visited a producer, a pineapple producer, and I was trying to remember what they planted to start the plants.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Whether it was like the top.
Yeah.
And you'd have a row of top. I can't remember either.
I can't either. I don't know if they had
They weren't doing it in Maui, and Maui's the only place I've been in Hawaii.
Okay. So if I'm going to do this, and I am going to do it, so just regular potting soil, and since it's a long process, I guess I've got some Osmocote Plus.
Yeah.
Mix some of that in there, and is that it? And just water?
I think, and be patient.
Yes. The patient is, again, the 13 steps that Neil has are in the paper, but that what caught my eye is I wanted to tell Milton. It says, when the plant is 18 to 20 months old, and that was, I went,
year and a half to, almost
year and a half.
Yeah. So it will be mature enough to bring flowers and fruit. And it says cut a large apple.
Okay.
And it was using that as a trick to...
Does Neil talk about removing the leaves from the bottom?
No.
Oh, that's I've heard that before. Or drying it out?
Oh, I've heard that. I've heard that too. Let it callus over. Do y'all recommend that before you put it in the potting soil, or no?
Well, it's just several. I think we just did it several days, or you didn't have to be fussy about it. A week or 2 weeks, and the number of days didn't really make a big difference.
Okay, but let it dry out some instead of just put it.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay.
All right,
now,
I'm going to give it a try.
On the interwebs, it says pineapple plants can take 18 to 36 months to produce fruit. 36 months.
Oh, my goodness. I don't know if I'm going to make it that long.
Okay, you do it for the pineapple. That pineapple will keep you going, man.
All righty. All right.
All right. Thanks.
Thank you. Bye.
You bet. Yeah, I didn't know it would take that long on the interweb.
I know. That's why I don't think either one of us thought it'd take that long. That's why it caught my eye this morning.
All right. Yesterday morning. 210-308-8867.
So,
yes, sir?
So I looked up the growing conditions for the Aristocola, the pipe thingy.
The pipe vine?
Yeah, the pipe vine. So light requirements, sun or part shade. But the soil moisture was moist.
Really?
So I think the gentleman may have tried to increase the soil moisture in the pot. That may have been it.
Because I'd kind of be like him. I would suspect it's to be on the dry side, but...
Yeah, Aristolochia reticulata, Dutchman's pipe.
And that's the variety, one of the varieties that the pipevine swallowtail is attracted to.
210-308-8867, 210-308-8867, and toll free, it's 866-308-8867. We're going to take a quick break, come back in a moment. More of Milberger's Gardening South Texas coming up on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. Welcome back to Milberger's Gardening South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer, 210-308-8867. Well, Lulu emailed me. Howdy, guys. My battling hummingbirds seem to love the dwarf red porterweed the best. And I think that's what you thought, too.
Yeah.
I think I need to plant 2 others, so that's good. Create a whole bed of them. Maybe the hummingbirds will not fight as much. I think they fight no matter what. Do they fight if there's plenty of...
I think they do. I think that's...
they just like to fight. They're mean.
Yeah.
They're like that deer that nearly attacked you.
Like a game.
Stole your car.
A bit of a game.
Yeah, we need to make sure that story gets bigger and bigger. So, yeah, if you didn't hear earlier, Calvin had a deer attack him and steal his car. Is that true?
No.
Okay. And then it says on another topic... My sister-in-law, yes, sir?
Just waving to a customer over there.
Oh, my sister-in-law has a peach tree, affectionately called Peachy, perfect name for a peach tree, that hasn't produced fruit in 4 years. Peachy is 20 years old.
Wow.
Is it past its prime?
Definitely past its prime, but if it's going strong, just let it go strong. I wonder what selection it is.
There you go. That's the first thing that crossed my mind. I'm like,
No.
I mean, other than peachy. 20 years old, it must not be.
Think back.
It's not Florida King.
No, and it's not June Gold.
It could be June Gold. Oh, yes.
Think?
Oh, June Gold is 20 years old?
Because
that's right.
I started my peach orchard 20 plus years ago.
Yes, last century, during the last millennia.
Yeah. Then so that would be interesting. And we didn't. Where is it, too? Did she?
Yeah. Well, all these factors.
Yeah, because if it's in the hill country, that's good peach growing country. Yeah, or if it's even in East Texas,
or maybe all by itself in good soil, that would be even better because it reduces the likelihood of disease, not entirely, and insects, but not entirely, but off by itself, all alone. Sometimes that's a benefit.
And there's islands of relatively good soil.
Yeah.
Throughout the state, so could be.
So that's interesting. So call us back or text us back or whatever.
If you know
all those things. What variety? Where's it located? How is it taken care of?
Yeah.
High maintenance, low maintenance.
But apparently, it did. Prior to 4 years ago, it did produce fruit.
Well, and that though is common.
Okay.
The 4 years is kind of. There's a lot of peach trees that did not produce much.
And going along that lines, sometimes in commercial world, you stop producing enough peaches or milk, and you go away.
Oh.
You are replaced.
Eek.
Yeah. So sometimes that's what happens. A lot of times you're not producing. You may be producing a bushel of peaches, whereas you were producing 5 bushels. Sorry, and then you go away.
Okay. Well, Lulu, text me back if you know the variety. That's what we're looking for Lulu?
Yes.
And you can text your question to me at milton@klup.com. And Greg, our guy up in North Texas, did text me this picture. He's a Sinisa person, too.
Lord.
Man, look at that. He's up in Castroville this morning.
Another acolyte.
Yeah, that's
another acolyte.
Yep. We Greg and I know the truth. So, all right. 210-308-8867. He said, I thought you'd like to know that rain is on the way. Yours truly, Greg. So, cool.
Thank you, Greg.
Thank you, Greg.
Is it raining now, he's saying? Or
No. It's on the way. No.
The photo was a very floriferous Siniso. I mean, it crammed every flower it possibly could into that bush.
Oh, man, no. And, Calvin, if you get a chance, drive down Bulverde Road toward Sprouts. And they have some hedges that they've done with the Sinisa, and it's great. Are you okay? Did you? Oh, you got to plug yourself back in.
I
All right.
Myself.
210-308-8867, the number to call. 210-308-8867. Oh, cool. This is a good one. Chalmette Burt.
Yes.
From Chalmette, Louisiana, is on the line. He's got a Malabar spinach question for us at 210-308-8867 and a little more. All right. What's going on, Bert?
Well, I don't know. Y'all said I'm right here at home, as Steve Miller's song says.
Okay.
But the Malabar spinach I loved them. They were just a bit off at first to get used to them, eating them. I don't know. Did y'all grow them to eat or what?
Well, yeah. And then you remember we were asking yesterday whether...
Well, Milton may seem like he mostly just grew them to look at them.
No. We ate the Malabar. We didn't eat much of the Crawford, unfortunately.
Okay.
However, we had a question yesterday as how to eat them. Milton was just pulling the leaves off.
Yeah, just chewing them. Rinsing them and chewing them.
Yeah, that's what I do. I just tasted them raw like I do everything, all my vegetables. I like to eat raw unless I know they're slightly toxic or,
but you don't use them in any recipes like spinach?
You can. They do the same as regular spinach. They wilt down real good. And they're very prolific seed producers, I'll tell you that.
Oh, that's good to know, too.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Did it volunteer and come back?
Oh, yes. And some of them came back during the freeze of the winter last season. I mean, they were just. This is from Malabar, India. This is the native plant there. And I'm like, wow, that's a subtropic rainforest type region, and then coming back here in the desert in the middle of winter. But what I did, they grow so well, is I went and got some stainless steel, on a boat with the little, it's a wheel, you put them in and you can lower and raise. I can't remember the proper name of it at the time, but I had the trellis on. I let them grow up each string. Yeah. And then I would lower it down because they grew up, when I had them, they grew up to the third story in like 6 weeks.
My gosh.
Yeah. No, that's right. I was recommending people put them on trellises, but that's amazing. I didn't realize they grew that tall.
You can just take like an old horizontal window blinds that's gone bad and use all of that too. Just screw it up into the boards, leave a little space, and just use what raises up and down the blinds, add some extra twine to it, and that way you can lower it down so you can get at the fresh growing leaves.
What do you think about
how much did you have to fertilize it?
Oh, good question.
Not too much at all. I just, I guess every 6 weeks, just to maintain the vitality of it, since it's not a native plant.
Okay. Hey, Bert, real quick, what was the other? Did the hanging basket you think is a good idea?
Yeah, that would work real fine. Like I said, yes. But the thing was, Milton, you were saying you had some indoor tray with like greenhouse with seeds. Mm-hmm. Problem.
Yeah.
All right, poke holes in them, or take an X-Acto knife and make little slits, and then that way they can breathe. And if that's the problem, you can also take wax paper or just a sheet of Saran wrap. I'm not plugging Saran wrap, but that's the only way I know to describe it.
That's all right.
If it's not, and then put it over the hole so you can control the moisture flow like that.
I like this idea. Thank you, sir.
No, I like it too.
Okay.
Think about
I'm going to try it. What seeds do you want me to try?
I just wax paper. If you use wax paper, you put the waxy side down.
Oh, no. But I'm going to make you give me a homework assignment, and then I got to run to 2 other callers. You think about it. Okay.
One last thing is from Mark. Mark, Mexican Bay Laurel versus Laurel Nobilis. Which one does better here?
Either.
Okay. I didn't know if the Laurel Nobilis would grow here because they grew crazy in Louisiana. So.
Right. And but both are frost sensitive. That's why I hesitated for a moment, and then I went, either will grow, but both of them are going to be cold sensitive.
All right, great, thank you. And I'm trying to get with y'all once I move to get with Mark with that garden volunteering of San Antonio and stuff like that.
Good. You're going to like that.
All right, y'all have a great week.
Thank you, Bert. You take care. Let's go to Lulu at 210-308-8867. Lulu, you're going to give us more info?
Yes, I am. I called my sister-in-law, and her husband was telling me as much as he could remember. So they bought the tree at Costco, and no one thought it was going to survive. His description was, it's a freestone. I was like, okay, do you know what variety? No. But he said they've actually had teeny tiny pieces. And this year they didn't come out, but she said, my sister-in-law then started talking. She said they were teeny tiny. Now, it's in the front yard in, I think, half a day, maybe more, 3/4 of a day of sun. And so it gets a lot of sun. I don't know how much they water it. That's the one thing I didn't ask. But
so where do you say it was here? Is it in San Antonio?
Yes, it is.
In 20 years it survived, huh?
Yeah. Huh. We used to take the peaches to the coast in the summertime.
Oh, nice.
We haven't had that in a while.
Yeah. You don't remember roughly when you went to the coast, was it in the middle summer?
It was the end of May, beginning of June.
Yeah, that's June gold.
Oh.
Could be June
gold.
Sure
sounds like it.
Yeah,
how big were they?
That used to be.
Make a difference?
That used to be the. Well, in fact, that was the key peach in my orchard. It was June gold. And
Yeah, they were real sweet.
yeah, and they were productive.
Yes,
but
in
they
the
were
very beginning, they were extremely productive. We would just all go over there and like, oh my gosh, it's like one giant peach.
Yeah.
There were peaches everywhere. And then over the years, they sort of dwindled.
They were semi-cling, and they also, though, have a little tendency to crack the seed to crack.
The seed.
And, yeah.
Yes, actually, that's true. We noticed that as well. So, maybe that's it. What is it called again?
June Gold.
June Gold. Well, they were real tasty.
Oh gosh, yeah. They were a good peach.
So, do you think there's anything they can do to help their production or at least their size?
I would just let go ahead and prune it in February so that it's reasonable and that there's the air can move through it. And just let it. Hopefully, the weather will be more reasonable. It won't be the freezes or the drought. But Mark wants to remind me to go ahead and water it.
Water.
Now, one thing that we forget about is usually, I think we mentioned it in the article. You got to water it in August. It's got to get. August and July, it's got to get some moisture because that's when the chemistry aligns itself and it prepares itself for the crop in the spring.
Yeah, as opposed to native trees, the peaches and the fruit trees really need the water in August.
Okay. I don't know how much they water, so their grass looks really good, so I don't know.
Oh, well,
but I don't know if they've ever trimmed that tree. I don't know if they've ever pruned it. I mean, it's a big tree now.
Huh.
So that
maybe
that's part of it.
Yeah, then they can do some pruning on it, shape it up.
Yeah, or try to continue the way they had it, but if it's lived 20 years and it generally produced, although that might be one of the reasons why.
Yeah,
it hasn't produced the last 4 years. Is that it just kind of got tangled up and dense.
I'm more the cynical one. I was suggesting last rites on it.
Peachy looks good, except they're not really any peaches. You look at him, you go, "Oh, that's a pretty tree," and you tell him it's a peach tree. You went, "Really? Where are the peaches?"
Yeah, sounds good. Thanks, Lulu.
Of course. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Lulu. You take care.
Bye-bye.
You too. Bye-bye.
All right, 210-308-8867. Got a couple minutes left. You want to talk about the dropped video?
Yes. So the video for the Gardening Volunteers of South Texas. Once a month, we do 2 videos, and there's Go Gardening. And they may be found on the Gardening Volunteers website. And this month, we had an exciting video for the Haven for Hope, Kate's garden, and it's a pollinator garden, and lots of wonderful plants in bloom. Where we have video of various butterflies and bees, all using the flowers. They had Lee Marlowe from San Antonio River Authority, good friend of ours here at the station, and she helped with the design and the plants involved. And so I would suggest everyone to go see that one and get some ideas for your own yard and pollinators. Beautiful, beautiful pathways and beautiful fountain.
Oh, very nice.
And then the other one was with Ron Seal, a good friend of ours, and we were talking about drip irrigation, the pros and cons. A lot of people think drip irrigation is a wonderful conservation technique. I disagree. I said it depends on how well you design it and how well you schedule it. So it can be wonderfully water conserving, or it could be water using. Just depends.
Okay. All right, 210-308-8867. Write that number down and you save it because you're going to have questions this week, and we're going to be here next weekend talking to you about all this great stuff. I'm Milton Glueck on behalf of the guys. Thanks to Al for doing a great job. Thanks for the weather, Al. Okay, you're promising us rain. And we will see you next week back here at Milberger's and on 9:30 a.m. The Answer.